Okay. So there's a couple of things that you've said that are, you know, interesting to me that I thought we could talk about. I've got some questions written down, in interview style. My biggest question to you is, like the first one is, are the prequel fans allowed to like the prequels? Hello?
As long as they can actually provide citations.
No. No. We're not talking about critiquing the prequels. We're talking about just liking them. Like a pure subjective, just sitting down on a couch and watching them. Are they allowed to do that? Oh, he left. He just left.
Bro.
Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll ask him where he's at. Like the question all I asked him was like, are prequel fans allowed to like the prequels? I'm not even a prequel fan, by the way. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen my video, but I don't like.
Oh, I know you criticize the prequels.
I don't hate them or anything. I'm actually kind of in the middle. I think a lot of the criticisms of them are like, okay, listen, you could literally apply that to any movie. It's like when people go, oh my god, I can't believe all these politics. And then the same people go, Game of Thrones is awesome because of the politics. It's like, okay, calm down. It's like, evidently we need to go a little farther than just saying politics bad.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, whenever people bring Game of Thrones into, like, a conversation about the prequels, I drop them. I'm like, nope, we are not doing that because it's...
Did he just leave?
Yeah, he just left. I asked him one question. You want to know what the question was?
What was the question?
It was literally, are prequel fans allowed to like the prequels?
He left on that. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Alright, hold on. I'll go mute.
No.
Why not? Like,
Because
we're not saying that are prequel fans allowed to say they're good movies, right? That's a different question. What we're saying, or what I'm saying, is that are the prequel fans allowed to just enjoy a film?
No.
Why not?
Because then they're brainwashed.
Okay, so are you saying, so I'll repeat your argument back to you in good faith. Are you saying that the reason why they are not allowed to like the movies is because they're bad?
Please mute yourself.
Basically, right? That's what you're saying.
What's going on here?
It's just a friendly little debate between Nightbreed and Adam.
Oh, I
So, yeah.
But yeah, you may continue. Is that the reason you think they're not allowed to like it because it's a bad movie?
Yes, and they have to be brainwashed into liking them.
Okay, so my response to that is, do you know who Neil Breen is?
Neil Breen. I've heard that name.
Okay, what
I don't
about
know who he is.
what about Tommy Wiseau?
Oh, that's the guy who made The Room.
Yeah. What about you ever seen Samurai Cop?
Oh.
Okay, these are all examples of bad films that have huge fan bases that people like, specifically because they're bad. Like I said, we're not talking about enjoying, or we're not talking about critiquing a movie or saying that it is art or saying that it is good objectively. We're talking about liking them. Like, I like Samurai Cop, but that movie's awful. That movie's one of the worst movies ever made. But I love that movie because it's so fascinating. what routes they took for this movie. Like it, you watch it and you wonder what were they thinking, like that. Do you understand? Like,
I've been arguing with prequel fans for like 6 months now, and I've come to the conclusion that anyone who likes them are just people that like to smell.
you didn't answer my question though. Like, are you allowed to like a bad movie? Because sometimes, like, that's what a guilty pleasure
Because
is.
I think that the fan base of the people who like the prequels are stupid.
Okay, but that's not what I'm asking. Can you like a bad movie? That's what a guilty pleasure is. That's like part of the thing. When you have a guilty pleasure, you're kind of admitting that the thing you like is crap, but you enjoy it for some reason.
And you might be a little bit brainwashed.
Okay. You're not answering my question. You're just saying that you might be brainwashed. Is it possible that you simply just like something and that's it? Even if you're willing to admit that the thing you like is bad.
The only thing that you can do to explain why you like something is to say that you don't know why. Then that's a sign you might be a little bit brainwashed.
Okay. Okay. So my question is, so what? If they're not taking it beyond the realm of this film is enjoyable, what does it matter to you? Like, if they're not saying, oh, I think the prequels are excellent, or oh, I think the prequels are extremely well written. My problem isn't that you critique the prequels, because I did that in the video response I did to you, like, several times. My problem with you is that you seem to have a problem with people liking the prequels, which is a completely different, like, thing. Like, you shouldn't be telling people what to like and what to not like. That's wrong. Do you understand that?
Don't encourage a hive mind.
No, I'm not encouraging a hive mind at all. In fact, I'm a big, like, proponent of, like, individuality and thinking for yourself. But the problem is that you're literally telling people what to think when you say you're not supposed to like that. It's like, well, you shouldn't be telling them what emotions they should be feeling. You should just let them feel emotions. Now, when it comes to objectivity and making assessments without emotion, that's a completely different thing. That's like where debates and stuff come in. But when you're looking at them and saying you're not allowed to like that, we're getting into some shaky territory here. Do you understand what I mean? Hello? Like, I'm not even arguing for the quality of the prequels right now. Let's just pretend like we're not even talking about the prequels, we're just talking about films in general. Should you be telling people what to like and what to hate? Not what is bad or good, that is objective. We are talking about what to like and what to hate.
If you know what you're talking about, then yes.
Okay. So you do believe that if we are only talking about what it is we like, as in we're not attributing any kind of objectivity to it, we are only talking about how it makes us feel. Like, for instance, you even brought up in your video that you think Anomaly is taking, like, the... Excuse me for a minute. For instance, you took the Anomaly's video. You were saying that he was taking the personal subjective views of people and saying they weren't valid. Would you say that telling people they can't like the prequels is basically the same thing? And he's gone again.
Okay, well, that was a waste of time.
I was trying to word it better, but
Oh no, you worded that to the best possible way. It's just that he's a fucking troll. It just
I don't think he's a troll. I think he literally believes what he says.
Same.
He might do trolling,
I
but I don't think he's trolling in the sense that he's like being dishonest just to get a rise
It's
on
it's
people.
it's really just it's really hard to tell at him. It's hard to see when he's trolling and when he's being serious. Like sometimes he'll just try to make a valid argument, then out of nowhere he erupts into random gibberish. He's done it before, trust me.
Yeah, he's done that lots of times on the server.
Yep.
Yeah.
You think he's going somewhere, then he just starts saying random gibberish.
Right.
Sounds about right. Well, I don't know if you saw my response to him that I did on my channel. It was like an hour and 45 minutes long. It was supposed to be covering like like Anomaly and EFAP and everything, but there was so much wrong with what he was saying about Anomaly that I had to split it up into parts because I was like, wow, this guy's just an idiot.
Funny thing, Nightbreed. Like on Nom's New Year's stream, it was a chill stream. I came across this guy. There was this guy in the chat named Joe One, and the Trump tards were crying about it. No joke, that was his name. And he just started. He was just trying. He was just starting. Anomaly.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
He said in my video is that Anomaly will bitch and moan whenever someone makes a criticism of the prequels, and that he makes an excuse as to why that criticism isn't valid. Usually the criticisms that he debunks are subjective.
Okay, so
The difference is that I'm not making an excuse, I'm making an actual argument.
okay, but that's not my question. My question is, how is it different when I'm saying that are people allowed to like the prequels? Because if you're telling people that they're not allowed to like the prequels, then, it's kind of the same thing. You're taking the subjective arguments of these people and saying that they're not objectively valid.
It's because of Pattern 6. People are writing George Lucas's story for him.
No, we're not talking about objectivity, whether or not people are doing that. We're talking about liking. If people go, you know what, I kind of like the prequels.
Film, they need to do that.
No, they don't. They don't have to have a reason for liking something. Now, if they were going to say that this film is good, then they better be bringing up, some sort of evidence to prove that. But that's a different topic.
What's going on again?
We're talking. If you want to move on to another question, we can. If this one's annoying you.
I almost want to record this.
Yeah, freaking record it.
Okay. But do you want to move on to another question? Because we can do that if this question is frustrating you.
We'll come back to that question at the end, I guess.
Okay. So my next question is, why are the sequels superior to the prequels?
This is an easy one. So basically, prequels, none of the characters have character arcs, but in the sequels, the characters actually do have character arcs.
Okay. Can you name one?
Well, probably an easy target would be Luke's arc.
Luke didn't really have an arc. Nothing more significant than anything in the prequels. Like, Luke's arc was that I'm grumpy and now I'm not because some girl that I just met and has had 3 days of lightsaber training hit me upside the head with a stick and then cheated by pulling a lightsaber out. I don't think that really signifies a good character arc. Is there another one?
Could you even call that
what a
troll,
retarded response that shows you don't even know what a character arc is.
One of us is a writer, are you?
Could you even...
Hold on, I wrote down what the arc is. Fucking hell.
I think he means like an actual author, like someone who makes stories.
Yeah, I actually like wrote 2 short stories. I have them published on Amazon. People have bought them. I've made money off my work. Like, if we're gonna get into who's the authority on the subject, right now it's me. I'm not acting like I'm some big named author that everyone knows. I'm not. I'm just saying, if you're gonna play the, oh, you don't clearly understand storytelling game, I am the absolute wrong person you play that game with.
I just want to go on record as to saying that you've completely just fucked with the wrong person here.
His example of a character arc is so bad, because like Luke really didn't arc. Not really. Sure, he shifted, I guess, but there was no like consistent arc.
If we're actually going to talk about training, by the way, would you actually consider Rey's 3 days, if those were 3 days?
Yeah, his training.
Training.
Yeah, she got training after she proved that she was powerful. Like that's the most ineffective training montage ever.
Like, I would consider her training to be more around like the Rise of Skywalker's training montage, because that was like, that seemed to be more around like what she would try to do if she had more advanced training, but it just doesn't seem like that would work.
What?
And somehow Leia's just sort of overseeing it.
Infamous, I'm curious if Luke's arc, quote unquote, counts as an arc. Does Anakin's arc from a young boy to like Space Hitler, essentially, does that count as an arc?
Oh, because it's just a bunch of foreshadowing.
What? No, it's not foreshadowing, because we see it happen on screen. Like, we actually see the stages of him going from kid to teen to Darth Vader. Like, that is an arc. What did you say? Citation needed?
Yes, you need a citation for that.
Okay. Good. Alright. Now, well, before I do that, explain to me what a character arc is.
It's the journey that a character makes throughout a story.
Oh.
Start out as one person and they turn into a completely different person by the end, and they have learned something.
Sort of like...
Sort of like Anakin,
Anakin turning into Darth Vader. we can debate whether or not it was a good character arc, but that's what it is. They have learned something. He learned to embrace the dark side and get its power, right? Like, is that not an arc, that he just let go of the restraint that the light side was putting on him, and he embraced the darkness because he found it to be more desirable? Is that not an arc?
What are you talking about by restraint that the light side put on him?
No, we're not talking about whether or not it was true. We're talking about his mindset. In his mind, he's jealous. He's holding me back. That's an actual line in the film. He feels like the light side is a restraint on him.
He was talking about Obi-Wan there.
Yeah, who is a proponent of the light side. He's a Jedi.
You're twisting it. That's not...
No, I'm not twisting it, because that's what it is. If he is one of the spokesmen for the Jedi, which is essentially the light side in this universe, and Palpatine is a spokesman for the dark side, then Obi-Wan by proxy is the light side holding him back. Like, this isn't some big reach. This is what he represents. This is what Obi-Wan represents, which is why he's so disappointed in Anakin for turning to the dark side, because he thought he had taught him better. This isn't that big of a reach. You can say it's a bad arc all you want. We can debate that, but you can't say it's not an arc at all.
So Sidious promises him that if he embraces the dark side, he will be able to save Padme.
Okay.
But then Padme dies, and Anakin still stays with Sidious. What the fuck?
Well, that's because he has nowhere else left to go. I mean,
Yeah, why would
seriously.
he go? Yeah. Oh, the biggest criminal in the Republic is going to show his face to Padme, who's dead now. Yeah, I'm sure that's smart.
Right.
I bet they won't execute him on the spot.
Or at least they won't try to execute him on the spot. Let's be fair.
It's not like he did anything
we don't
bad enough to get executed, like child murder or nothing like that.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's not like he, just almost single-handedly destroyed a fucking order or something. It's not like he almost did that.
Brought down an entire government. Nah, it didn't happen.
Right? Yeah. Well, actually, it's not that they overthrew the government. It's more like that. The government overthrew them because I guess they were a part of that government, but that was more so for like the Galactic Police, basically.
But there is an explanation for that, and first off, I don't really think it matters. Why would he go back to Padme?
Yeah, true.
Because as far as
he
he's
certainly
concerned,
wouldn't go to Tatooine either.
Yeah, as far as he's concerned, Padme's dead, so there's no point in even going back. But Palpatine, who was there for him and pulled him out of the fire, literally, is alive, and made him whole again in a weird, twisted way. I mean, who's he gonna go back to? Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan cut his daggum legs off. I don't get what point you're trying to make here.
Well, that's the only character arc in the prequels.
I don't know if I would go that far.
I don't know if that's entirely true, because Obi-Wan does go through a character arc of sorts.
Yeah, having to take up the reins after his master died, I guess, is sort of a character arc.
That's not a character arc. That's just the way the story is written.
Which is a character arc. That.
No.
What you just said is really stupid. That's like if I looked at a piece of dialogue and went, that's not dialogue, that's the way the story is written.
Pattern 8 false equivalences.
That's not a false equivalence, it's the same thing. Why is it a false equivalence?
Because there's no actual journey that Obi-Wan goes through until the point where he has to take up the training of Anakin.
Okay, but that's an arc, isn't it? We can agree on its. We can disagree or agree on its effectiveness, but that's still an arc. Just like you can look at a piece of dialogue and say that's bad dialogue, you cannot look at it and say that's not dialogue. Do you get what I'm trying to say here?
It's because dialogue has a much simpler definition.
No, not really.
How does that make sense, though?
Okay, let me put it this way, and not to mention Anakin becoming Darth Vader is not even the only arc he goes through. So, if we're talking about Anakin being the only one that arcs, I mean, wouldn't him fighting Count Dooku and winning be an arc? Kind of like if you've ever seen, I don't know, the Raid 2, where he fights a guy and loses, and then comes back and fights him again but wins. Isn't that sort of like Agent Smith having a character like Neo at his mercy, and then Neo having to fight him because he believes in himself? Isn't that's an arc? This has been done several times in storytelling. What you're describing is factual. I don't understand why you don't think it's an arc, because by your own definition, Anakin learned something and completed a task. It was an arc.
He failed the task.
By defeating Count Dooku? Which he failed at the first
Oh,
time?
you're talking about that.
Yeah.
They don't show the thing that Anakin had to change in order to beat Count Dooku. He just beat him in the next movie.
Okay. I mean, I guess I sort of agree with that, but at the same time, they didn't show the things that Luke had to learn to defeat Darth Vader.
What are you talking about?
They didn't show that. In fact, it's actually regarded
Empire
in,
Strikes Back.
yeah, in The Empire Strikes Back, it's the same thing. He loses against Darth Vader, and then he wins against Darth Vader in the next film. And both films, yeah, go ahead.
He used the dark side to beat him. Remember when Palpatine telling him that all of his friends are
Anakin
going
did the
to
same
die?
thing to defeat Count Dooku, though. Like, he murdered him in cold blood.
Yeah, he basically just cut off his hands and then decapitated him.
When he was defenseless, like, he could have easily captured him, and he just murdered him. It's not even defense. You can't even justify it.
Right, like, that was like...
If that's not dark side, I mean...
I mean, that's basically like sand people execution kind of, you know, just murder, just cold-blooded murder.
Yeah, it's not the same thing as, like, when Yoda kills somebody in self-defense, because, like, Anakin
He's
literally had him on his knees and decapitated him. Like...
He literally, like, he actually typed in Site 19 Lounge Text Talk Pattern 2.
Yeah, just went yeet.
It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, like, here's the thing, though. Both films actually do the same exact thing where they just kind of wave away how Anakin and Luke defeated their enemy this time by saying, well, that he's had more training. Like,
Yeah, that is true, that, like they actually do that.
my skills have doubled since the last time we fought in that one, and then the other one, Yoda mentions how he's trained him better. Like, it's not... Both of them are virtually the same, and, like, I don't think either one is bad. We can argue about some other things, but as far as this specific point, I don't see a problem with it. But let's get back to the original question, which is, why are the sequels superior? Is there other characters that you can mention that have arcs that actually objectively make sense and are logical in the story, that are better in the prequels, or better in the sequels than they are in the prequels? Like, is there any other character?
He just said it's the only thing... He just said, if the only thing you can do to defend your opinion is whataboutism, then that's a sign you might be a little biased. What the fuck? When did we use anything close to whataboutism in our arguments?
Now, first off, whataboutism is a completely different thing. Let's just get that out of the way. Whataboutism is literally me saying, what about this, without actually addressing a criticism, in the thing. Like, for instance, if I said Captain Phasma is a bad character, and someone said, well, what about Boba Fett? He didn't do anything, you thought he was a good character. That's different. My point isn't whataboutism. My point is asking you, what's the difference between these two things? And why is one better and one worse? I'm not saying that Captain Phasma is automatically a good character because you liked Boba Fett, who served basically the same function. Like, that's different. That's not whataboutism. You have no fundamental understanding of whataboutism, if that's what you think it is. I'm asking you, what's the difference between the two, because they both functionally serve the same purpose in the film. Both of them defeat an enemy that defeated them last time by using the dark side of the Force. How is one the inferior one and one the superior one when both of them literally do the exact same thing? Either, I'm not going to do whataboutism, you like this one, so you must like the other one, because I don't think either of them are bad. I think both of them serve the story functionally. I think both of them are fine. I'm not making a whataboutism argument.
Well, because Palpatine's plan, he didn't want Vader to kill Luke because he wanted Luke to turn to the dark side in that room.
Palpatine also wanted Anakin to turn to the dark side and kill Count Dooku.
It still serves the same function, so I'm trying to figure out, why is one superior than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually kind of hard.
I mean, if you want to move on, we can pick a different. I've got other questions because I've got some other stuff I gotta get done too. You know, I understand everyone's got a life. But,
oh yeah. Let's just get on to a different question.
what are your favorite films? Like, what are some of your favorite films? What do you think? Not necessarily favorite. What do you think is like a staple of quality when it comes to filmmaking? That this film is bad, or not this film, but this is a good film. This is how films should be written.
Black Swan.
Next one.
Um,
You don't.
Just skipping to the next question, I guess.
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. I guess, yeah, that's a good example. What is it about Terminator 2 that you think works? Because I'll also agree that Terminator 2 is a really tightly written film.
John Connor and the Terminator's relationship. The villain is also very threatening.
Okay. I would also agree with that. I actually think the best part of Terminator 2 is actually Sarah Connor's character arc from going from battle-hardened, cold, basically human Terminator, let's be honest here, to actually having to learn to fit back into society and be a good mother. Like, I think that's a beautiful character arc. I agree. So, I guess the point of this question was kind of just to frame it better, to see if you, I don't know, to maybe help both of us understand each other's standard of how, like, what we view as good and bad writing, you know. So I thought it was an important question. We'll move on to the next one, though. I think we have an understanding of each other a little bit. Why do you have some of the positions you hold about the prequels? Like, what is it that makes you so mad that people defend them? Like, is there a particular reason?
Because Anomaly brainwashed me into liking them a long time ago. Then I found a video which released me from that.
And what was that?
Define a long time ago, by the way.
Well, it was like until 6 months ago.
Wasn't that long? Like, okay, so what is it? What video or whatever? What was it that like broke you from your brainwashing spell?
Why Star Wars was saved in the edit.
I actually haven't seen that video, so I can't comment. But what do you think? Why do you think Anomaly is brainwashing people? Like,
Well, I've got my 5 patterns. I mean, my 8 patterns, basically.
what specific things that does he do to, like, justify or qualify as brainwashing? Like, do you think, for instance, do you think I'm brainwashed?
You gonna answer the question?
I don't know.
Okay, now, I do think, well, I saw one of your quotes in the comment section one time where you said something along the line of, people are brainwashed to hate the sequels by Mahler and Vito and ER. Do you still stand by that statement?
Yes, because what they do, they actually repeat the same criticisms over and over and over again. It's the communist idea of repeating a lie until it becomes real.
Okay. Let's not go there. That I don't think calling them communists, especially ER, given his political beliefs, is an appropriate label. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's go over that. How is it any different when Chris Stuckman and Cosmonaut Variety Hour repeat whatever it is that Plinkett says?
Because those are actually good points.
That's not an argument. Here, ask me the same question in reverse. Ask me why I think that it's fine when Mahler, Vito, and ER repeat the same points.
Why is it okay when Mahler, Vito, and ER repeat the same points over and over and over again?
Because those are actually good points.
Oh boy. Well, let's look at one of them. Know how Mueller
do
says
realize
that
this
visuals don't matter to the actual quality of a film, and that a film...
isn't my argument. You're missing the point. The point is that it's not a fair argument and it's not deep enough. You're simply just going
trying to dig it deeper.
You're saying mine are better. That's your only argument, is saying mine are better. Why are your points better? The only thing you've done to quantify why their points are inferior is saying that your side has better points.
And copy pastas. Don't forget the delicious copy pastas.
Yeah, like, if that's your only thing is that they keep repeating each other, it's like Chris Stuckman and Cosmonaut Variety Hour, like, will copy and paste certain points from Red Letter Media, who, by the way, I'm actually, like, subscribed to, and I actually like their content. Some of their Star Wars content I'm half and half on. Like, my biggest problem with Plinkett's review of Star Wars Force Awakens was that it barely talks about The Force Awakens. But he still has good content, like his Star Trek Picard video and Star Trek Picard and Discovery videos, like, their stuff is really good. They make a lot of really good points. I agree that Red Letter Media makes some good points. But how is it any different when they repeat a point?
Because it's correct.
Okay.
But why is it correct?
Yes. Like, what is it about that they're saying about the prequels that Mahler is saying about this? Like, okay, what is it that Mahler is saying about the sequels? What is it he is saying that isn't true?
Oh, basically.
Yes, we need some specific examples here.
Like, you can even give me a point that E.R. Mahler and Vito and Jay, or like any of the other, or Dishonored Wolf, who had the most popular one at the time. You can go down the line and just tell me a point that all of them make that you think is wrong that they keep repeating over and over and over again. I mean, it shouldn't really be that hard. Like, if you're so set on this, like, name a point that they consistently bring up that you believe is completely incorrect, but they just keep repeating it.
Well, Vito said that any movie that has a high budget is going to have great production value.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
No. Most movies with a high budget are usually going to, like, especially in the professional world, maybe in the unprofessional world it's different, but in the world with someone who is as seasoned of a filmmaker as Rian Johnson, who, by the way, I don't like any of his movies, but I will acknowledge that he is a professional filmmaker, so he knows what money should go where. Like, I think that's a pretty sound argument. Like, if you look at movies made by Universal or whatever, you know, or DC even, like, even though I think their CGI is ugly, they're still clear production value.
What the fuck was that? Hold on, let's again.
That's toasty.
God damn it!
All right, let's do another point. How about one that you've heard specifically from Mahler, because it's been like I haven't actually watched Vito's video all the way. I'm not a huge fan of his content.
What do you mean?
Like, can you do a point that Mahler and ER parrot all the time that is just not true? Because I haven't heard Mahler use the argument about production value, and if he has, like, you can correct me on that. I know ER certainly hasn't. Like, can you name one, a different point that is repeated over and over again? These communist points of yours?
Meow.
Like, I don't know. I could probably come up with one.
ER thinks Star Wars revolves around Luke. Everyone remembered?
I can come up with one. He thinks that's probably the most repeated thing consistently across the board. and I think you've voiced your disagreement over, and you've even said that Red Letter Media is wrong about this, that Rey is Mary Sue. Is that a parroted lie?
Come on, Adam. All we need is a yes or. Oh, and he fucking left.
Wow. What?
It's an easy question. Like, is Rey a Mary Sue?
Like, he was-
Oh, guys.
Oh,
she
there he
is
is.
a Mary Sue.
Right, there he is.
This is his explanation of Luke's arc. 1. Luke learns of Han's death, but still does nothing because he thinks that if he gets involved, he's going to cause more trouble. 2. Luke meets R2 again and decides to teach Rey. 3. Rey reminds Luke of what he did to Darth Vader.
Whoa,
4.
whoa.
Luke uses the...
This isn't even in the movie.
It's not even a movie, Mr.
Like, the Luke learns of Han's death but still does nothing because he thinks if he gets involved, it's going to cause more trouble. When does Luke even, like, imply that?
It's not even explained. It's...
Now you're just
Yeah.
writing... You're literally doing what you say prequel fans do when you say they, like, write the script for the filmmaker.
You're right. You're writing Ryan Johnson's story for him.
Yeah, true. Like, they deleted the scene where Luke was mourning Han.
Why would you delete that
They
scene at
don't-
all, by the way? Like...
Hold on.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah,
dumb. Like, why?
Why would you just go for that? Hey, Fian.
Yeah,
Hello, Mr. Leffian.
what is going on?
We're having
Infamous
a conversation with the infamous. I think we're making a lot of progress. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Has he said
we're making-
anything?
If I can take a picture of the space between my fingers, you would see zero like space within those 2 fingers, and that is about as much progress as we've made here.
Holy fuck.
Table discussion.
I don't know what you just said, but definitely P hasn't said jack shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We asked him if he thinks Rey is a Mary Sue, and he didn't even give a response.
He still isn't
Just
answering.
nothing. He's
Like,
giving us literally nothing to work with.
Okay,
like you said, they keep parroting arguments, and the most consistently parroted argument I hear across the board, other than Rose Tico is a terrible, useless character, and other than they underutilize Finn, is that Rey is a Mary Sue. Is Rey a Mary Sue, and is this point they parrot wrong?
What is going on? Oh, hi,
Well,
Latman.
And you're discussing with the infamous.
Oh, hi, Oliver. Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Fran.
everybody mute except for a Nightbreed and Adam.
Nightbreed Gaming.
Hello.
You made that long video. Yeah, nice to see you here.
Nice to see you
So,
I invited him.
guys,
I invited him here, by the way.
guys,
Because-
Okay.
I have
Because
a
Kylo Ren got injured in the stomach, so he was not able to fight as well as he could have fought.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
Is Rey still a Mary Sue? Like, okay, but I
No,
guess the
because
better
that's the
question would
truth.
be, what is a Mary Sue?
Okay, what the fuck is going
The
on?
character that never ever fails.
Wow, kind of like Rey. And that's not what
She
it means,
does.
by the way. That's not what that means. There are plenty of characters that are Mary Sues, or even characters that don't fail, that I wouldn't call a Mary Sue, especially to the degree that Rey is. Rey, like, a Mary Sue is a character that is a self-insert, and is a perfect all-around human being that has no growth or flaws, and has everything she could ever need, and the only people who dislike her are the bad guys. Now, if you
Okay.
took it and compared it to someone like, I don't know, have you ever seen the film Ip Man?
No, what the
I
fuck
have no
is
idea what that
Ip Man?
is.
It's a
And I just posted a video which shows her failing a lot.
okay, like
Okay.
let's just get that out of the way. We're not talking about just failing. We're talking about things that are like brutal to the plot, like as in if she got injured in such a way that she couldn't, I don't know, use her hand, kind of like what happened to Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker.
You don't
Like-
need to do that.
Why not? Wouldn't that be a
Like,
significant failure
what
that
if
would
we're
keep her
not
from being a Mary
looking
Sue?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
the
what if
thing-
Ray was one of
The failures that the character needs is that they fail to achieve their goals. So she sets the goal, turn Kylo away from the dark side, and she fails to.
No, she doesn't, because in the last movie, it's a success. Like, what are you talking about?
Talking about in The Last Jedi. Remember that?
Well, I mean, he wasn't turn him from from the dark. He just sort of like has a hallucination of Han, and then he forgives himself. Like,
All right,
that's,
true.
Like, it's literally all.
All right.
Ray's not
Okay.
the one who does it, so I can kind of.
Guys,
Why?
But
guys,
this is not something that can be attributed to the character. This is something I would say is actually the writer's fault.
can one simple question. Who are you?
Who, me?
Yeah, I've never seen you on the server before.
I'm a guy that made like an hour and 45-minute video about the Infamous here and why he makes really bad arguments.
He just arrived here.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just showed up.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome.
I sent him the invite.
Infamous. Question. Do you think you make really bad videos?
I mean, obviously not. I mean, he's steady making videos, so I doubt he thinks that they're bad.
He said he was
Man's
gonna,
obviously delusional.
remember when he said he was going to revolutionize, what was it? He said he was going to revolutionize 240p.
What the hell's 240p?
The really shitty quality.
It's actually
Oh god, that. What the shit?
Only thing
dude?
worse than that is like 144p, whatever the hell that it is.
I used
Okay.
to watch- I used to watch
Okay.
YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Can I-
that's really
Oh.
quality.
Alright, guys, stop. Alright.
Okay, Adam. Adam, are you listening?
I don't. I
Yeah.
think kind of. I thought
Okay,
you were
you're
saying
listening.
T.
Okay. Are you deliberately making your videos in a shitty quality? Like, they're 4x3 and most of those pictures don't even fit that frame. They just feel off. Like,
Yes, I am.
why?
Like,
Yes.
I upload
Because
my
that's
videos
what
in
I want to
1080p.
do.
Okay, fine,
We're
but
being- we're
why?
being-
Okay. What kind of video software are you using? Are you using Filmora?
I have the
Adobe
perfect
Premiere
argument.
Pro.
I have the perfect
What?
argument against this. Okay, so we're going to say, like, remember what this is the Infamous's big point. If the majority of the audience doesn't find it enjoyable or likable, then it is bad, right? Well, not only does the Infamous's videos have an overwhelming number of dislikes all the time, but
Then
he
you'd be saying
also
that Tommy
people
Unit is
can't
bad.
even watch or enjoy the video. Like, they can't see the things happening on screen, like the part where the 240p is keeping people from reading the text crawl when he makes a specific point to point certain things out in the text crawl. Like, how is that helpful to the audience? How can majority of the audience understand that if they can't even read it?
Like, it's almost like he's
Yeah.
deliberately trying to lower the quality so that people don't understand.
Oh, what the?
You ruined the intro.
I muted damn thing because it was annoying.
All right,
Okay. All right. Okay.
Alright,
And
I'm gonna.
I have one more thing.
sec.
Actually,
Yeah.
don't do that again.
Okay.
I already did that. Sorry.
Okay. I have one more thing. It's from Helmet because I think his mic is broken. He says that. Okay. Ray mind tricking the stormtroopers is a proves that she is a married Sue, because how the hell she even knows that Jedi mind trick exists?
yeah, when she just now found out the Jedi were a thing.
Yeah, so they didn't said this. Like, Luke Skywalker,
Like, not even two.
isn't he a myth? And he remembers Darth Vader. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
let me put it this way, Infamous. You literally said that proof that Anakin is a Mary Sue is because he instantly knows how to fly a battle cruiser and destroy a massive ship. Would you not say that basically that basically Rey, knowing how to do lightsaber fighting skills, competent enough to beat a Sith Lord whether he was wounded or not, and knowing the Jedi mind trick also counts as like being a Mary Sue, if that's your standard for being a Mary Sue.
Oh, I don't know what your question is.
You said that you said that literally that it was how do I put this? You literally said that Anakin, the proof that young Anakin was a Mary Sue was because he instantly knew how to fly a battle cruiser and competently fight with the cruiser, right? When he destroyed the Separatist ship. But apparently, you don't think that Rey essentially doing the same thing with the Millennium Falcon or doing other impressive things doesn't count as being a Mary Sue. Like,
oh my god! Because there's literally a throwaway line right after that scene where she says that she has flown a ship before,
but not the Millennium Falcon. To the point where she can literally dive bomb and like shoot a shot out of the back of the ship and destroy it. Like that is more impressive than anything that Anakin did.
And certainly more impressive.
Not to mention, like, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Anakin make a few mistakes on that? Like, he was, like, bumbling around a bit and...
Yeah, he actually used the torpedoes. Like, and blew up the ship.
Yeah, but it's downright outrageous luck. That's why it's worse than Rey.
Well, no, it's the same thing because she literally drops out of the sky something that could potentially kill them, and they happen to line up their shot perfectly and take out a fighter that's chasing them. That, like, if that's not luck, I don't know what is. Like, that's literally luck. What about the time where she triple-shotted 3 TIE fighters in Last Jedi? That's luck.
She doesn't even make it.
These things don't actually matter.
Like, make a single.
Yes, they do, because that saves the characters' lives.
Yes, they do.
What happened to my name? Damn it.
Me happened to your name.
What? Okay, this is getting
We're
stupid.
always saying his name is. You're always saying his name is shit like that. It's funny.
Everybody, let's let him, speak.
Okay, screw this. I'm leaving. Good night. Good night. Goodbye, guys.
See you, Lavian.
Well, I say we usurp replica.
See you later.
All right. So,
Why? What has he done?
How about we not?
Here's my proposal, right? Here's my proposal.
My God. We're not even talking about that. We're not even supposed to be talking about that.
I'm so stupid. I forgot this was a stream.
Yeah, back on topic. And back on topic.
All right. So, listen. So, Infamous. There are things that she does in this film that are complete luck. Like, you can say that doesn't matter to the plot. She literally uses the Jedi mind trick to escape the enemy fort, like the enemy fortress. Like, if that's not convenient to the plot, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
That's pretty plot relevant to me. Like
these things don't matter. What matters is if they fail to achieve their goal.
No. This is proof that you know nothing about storytelling. No offense, but like, you can have positive development in a story that still is just as relevant as a negative development. Like, what even is this argument?
I would like to say that I even put up, like the actual like Oxford Dictionary of Mary Sue in a Site 19 Lounge text talk.
Yeah, it originated from a Star Trek fanfic. Like, I've looked into it. Like, I bet we know more about it than this guy does.
Yeah, apparently.
Where is it?
Like, the character it originated from was literally called, like, Ensign Mary Sue. It was a self-insert character in a fan fiction that was loved by everyone and could do everything that the crew could do without as much training or experience. Like, this is literally Rey. Like, she can beat Luke Skywalker in a lightsaber fight.
It's not a lightsaber fight.
Who cares? It's combat. Like, Luke Skywalker beat the most skilled swordsman in all the galaxy, but can't beat Rey. Do you see why that's a bad thing? Why that's like a huge plot issue?
It doesn't really matter what it is. It matters how it's done.
That's what it is then. If it's done terribly, then it is done terribly. Like what you just said is like a complete non sequitur. Like what are you even trying to make a point here? Like this isn't even like what and it's done very poorly.
I would just like to say that I resaw the actual scene, and Luke Skywalker, one of the most like talented Force users and probably one of the only skilled light swordsmen in the entire galaxy, is defeated by a trip on a rock.
Yeah, he falls on a rock. That's the stupidest part of that whole thing. And she cheats, by the way. She pulls a lightsaber out. It's like, and here's the thing. You can have these failures, but the problem is that the plot never calls out these failures as such and never actually makes them cause any kind of harm to her later. Like, there's no unintended consequence. I'll give you an example of a story that actually does this correctly. Like, just small little things. Like, I don't know, John McClane cutting his feet on glass in Die Hard. Like, he literally has to pull the glass out of his feet, and it leaves him decommissioned for, like, a good chunk of the film. Like, things like this never happen to Rey. And I don't care if they fail, if a character fails or succeeds or not. Like, John Wick is a character that wins almost everything he goes into, but he still, like, gets wounded and hurt. Like, in the most famous scene John Wick's in, he gets, like, thrown off a balcony. Like, it doesn't matter if they win or lose. Like, do you understand? You can have a complete invincible Gary Stu character just as long as they don't break the plot. The problem is, with bad Mary Sues, the plot, they are not in service of the plot is in service of them. Rey literally has everything she could ever need. She has Force abilities. She has training that she didn't even need to have because she was already like a League tier Jedi anyway. So what did she even need training in Rise of Skywalker for? Like, she lifts these massive boulders when Luke had a hard time picking up rocks. Do you understand? Like, these are really bad things. The plot is literally breaking just so this character can succeed. This is not a good thing. If we're going to talk about technical aspects of writing, this is some bad stuff because it makes the audience suspend disbelief and makes them go, well, if she can do all this, then what's the point of even me, like, worrying about her? The plot's just going to give her whatever. We can move on to another question.
Yeah, because I've already answered this. It matters if they fail at achieving their goal, and they did.
No, it doesn't. If they achieve their goal, it can still be just as significant of a plot development. Like, you're just wrong.
Like, yeah, like I have a question for Mr. Infamous. Like, if Rey lost a leg, like, could that still, the argument could still be bullshit or no, in your opinion?
Oh my god.
Alright, well, we'll move on to another question. I've got, like, two more. What makes you an authority on the prequels or filmmaking in general? I think it's a very legitimate question. And for, like, just for the record, I don't think you have to have you don't have to be a filmmaker in order to critique film. I'm not one of those people. I'm just saying, you very often tell people to stop acting like an authority, and then will often, like, do things like say, I used to make high school films, so therefore you will often talk very authoritatively, which is why I'm asking you why you think you're an authority on the subject of filmmaking. Like, what background in storytelling do you have?
Done with this, he says.
Look,
is he gone for good? Is he gone for good this time?
I think he is, actually. And I would just like to point out here to everybody watching the stream, by the way, if this was an actual court case, I'm pretty sure, he would be guilty right now. Just for,
Yeah.
Like, just refusing to answer these questions, especially with, like, the evidence. How little of it he's brought up. of just,
The,
like,
the
say that.
criticisms he has, don't get me wrong, the prequels are flawed and have criticisms you can make, but the criticisms he has can be applied to like most films. Like the thing where he's like, exposition is bad. It's like, not necessarily. Like, if there's a character that wouldn't have some sort of prior knowledge, then a character would have to inform them of something. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there are times that exposition is in fact needed, and there are plenty of times in the prequels and in the original trilogy that that we can say that.
or how about just most stories? Like I pointed out how in The Last of Us, Ellie is constantly having to be told what certain creatures are because she's never been outside of certain areas, so she wouldn't know what a bloater is or a clicker. Like, so Joel is having to explain these things to her because to keep her safe, make sure she doesn't try messing with one.
Right.
Yeah, so like this isn't a bad thing just to have exposition there. Well, like example I think of bad exposition. Have you seen the Death Note like Netflix adaptation?
I've not seen that before. Is it terrible?
I hear it's really bad.
Yeah, example of bad exposition is in the film where the character is literally told something he should already know. Where he's just like, yeah, we know your mom died. It's like, he should know that. You shouldn't be telling him this. Like...
Hey.
What up? But, thank you all guys for having me. I do have to go. I don't think he's coming back. Y'all are cool. Nice conversation. If you haven't seen my video yet, go check it out because I am going to be making a part 2 addressing his other arguments and stuff. And I found what he looks like, so there's that.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone watching the stream, please subscribe to Nightbreed. Seriously, please watch his content, watch his videos. He actually does make decent points.
All right. Thank you guys. See y'all later. Goodbye.
All right. Later.